You can just deliver it to the studio. I got wings.
The simplest way to put it, I have problems.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pain Management Podcast. I am one of your hosts. I am Roderick McDaniel. And to my right, best friend, one of the dopest up-and-coming comics in here, and also the co-host of this podcast, Jimmy Moynihan. What's up, buddy?
Hey, nothing.
How you doing? I like how he says, hey, nothing. Nothing. Leave me alone. Quit asking questions. You the fuzz? You the cops?
Just hanging out. Been a little angry today. Angry in traffic. People driving. I just want, it's one of those, all the emotion coming out as anger today. So.
Yeah, no, that traffic was bullshit.
Yeah.
It was hell getting here today, and I came in from Round Rock, and it faked me out because it was nice all the way to downtown.
Yeah,
so,
it just
screw
sucks.
that.
I hate driving.
And we got another guest that probably is way happier than both of us because I don't know how much traffic they went through. Jake, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Jake Ricca. I didn't know if you were going to do it or if I was
I'm going to
do
let
it.
you do it,
Jake
man.
Ricca.
Okay. I did have traffic today. It was good. And my AC broke in my car just in time to be hot out in Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yes.
You got to get that fixed in the next 2 weeks, bro.
I've been working on it. And I don't have a horn in my car.
Jeez.
Right now. My horn broke.
Nightmare.
So I'm just like screaming and just hitting the horn and it's not working.
Oh, no.
It's very frustrating. I might get an air horn.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, this ain't the place to have. You need both a horn and some air conditioning in Texas. One, the horn, because it's not even so you can honk at the people in front of you. It's the people that don't realize you're in this lane and they're coming over.
Yeah, there's a lot of times since I haven't had the horn where I'm like, one, I'm just mad and I want to hit it. I feel like if I hit him with a horn, it like brings my rage down.
Yeah.
It's like I let them know they're stupid.
Yeah,
and
you gotta.
then times where people are about to hit me.
Yeah.
I've had to like swerve out of the way a lot more.
I listen to death metal a lot. If I get in really bad traffic here, I just go, rrr, 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 and I'm like, I feel better. Yeah. I really feel better. It just takes my rage down.
Yeah.
And then I can just drive like, hi, guys. How you doing?
Bobby J. Cox, just the sweetest little guy.
Yeah.
I was talking to him on the phone, and he was he was driving, and then someone cut him off, it was so interesting to hear him go into road rage.
Yeah.
Dude, I lose it. I feel bad immediately after too.
Me too.
Because I'm just like, they didn't know what they were doing. But hey, I'm yelling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That and video games, I just lose my mind too. I have zero control.
Yeah.
Video games, oddly enough, I can stay calm in a shooter even if you snipe me from away. I'm like, okay, that happened. Yeah. But road rage, and I've had a gun pulled on me, so that was kind of made my rage kind of like I'm not as bad. And I also don't keep a gun in my car because had there been one in there, there'd have been a shooting.
Damn.
You're gonna pull the gun on me? And I looked at my glove box and I said, damn it, I know that gun's in my drawer at home. But if that gun would have been in that glove box, I would not be sitting here with you guys today. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you got to thank God for the little miracles of no guns.
It's for the best usually.
Yeah, dude. I'm not. I don't try to get mad a lot, but if I know I'm getting pissed, all right, a plea for purging. Let's listen to this. I'm about to listen to people scream, and then I just feel better at them screaming. And I like white dude angry in music is good music.
Okay.
Jake's
like, no, I work out to like Disturbed and System of a Down and Slipknot. So I'm fair. I'm totally fine with screaming.
Yeah.
And shit like that.
Angry white dude music makes me happy, bro. I don't know what it is about it, but it mellows me right out. All right.
Yeah, that's real great. Linkin Park.
The rage still got you?
Yeah.
You want me to hit him with the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Jake, here's what we do. We're two people, but we both have the same hive mind on this show. So He has a question he asks every time. What is your mental illness or what have you been diagnosed with?
As of right now, I've never been diagnosed with anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have a mental illness that I know of.
that you know of?
I've never
Outside
been
of
to
that road
therapy.
rage that angered?
Oh, I just get mad at that. Yeah. I
Anything
feel like
else
that's,
you
is
mad?
that normal? I feel like road rage is so common.
It's common, yeah.
It is.
Am I giving myself a cop out there? Or I don't, I've never been to like therapy or anything like
Oh,
that.
you
I wouldn't
haven't?
know. No, I
Yeah.
should.
I mean, it's a very common form of. I mean, I think everyone gets a little angry. There's some people like I see that drive that don't, which is like impressive. They just like they get cut off and they don't take it personally, which is like I get mad if someone cuts me off, but if they cut someone off in front of me, I don't give a shit. It's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's
I
like-
still have to hit my brakes, but that one doesn't make me as angry.
No, because it wasn't done to me. So like, it's in my head is that everyone's doing something to me. They're just happen to be
Like they
driving
knew,
like
oh,
that.
this is Jimmy. Fuck him.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
cutting you off personally.
Yeah.
That's wild, dude. I never thought about that. Jimmy made me go deeper into my own self today with that one. I was like, yeah, I don't get mad when they cut other people off.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that dude's going to be pissed. And I just keep driving, minding my business. All right. But Jake, man, how long have you been in comedy? Let's ask that.
I've been in comedy 8 years. It'll be 9 in August.
Oh, you got a mental issue. You just ain't figured it out yet.
Okay.
You stayed that long, bro? Come on.
Yeah. I like it. It's good.
Yeah.
I'm okay at it.
Where are you from?
From Florida.
Another Florida boy.
Yeah.
I wonder what the connection is to all these Florida dudes being on this podcast all the time.
Maybe, yeah, that guy.
I always say the same thing, man. Florida be killing it. I don't care where I go. Every time I run into dudes from Florida, y'all be some of my favorites. So that's dope.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, where'd you start?
I was gonna say Jake's a very funny comedian, great content creator, and just already becoming a force in this scene here in Austin. So let's talk about you do. So me and Jake will talk about stuff we were talking about before the podcast, like opening up about like mental health stuff. So you do get you wouldn't know from talking to Jake ever, but you have depression. You struggle with depression sometimes. Right?
Sometimes, yeah. Like it's definitely something where if I miss I guess my form of taking care of it is going to the gym and feeling like I'm doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like if I skip the gym for a few days, I'm like straight up like I hate myself. Like not to a point of like, oh, I'm lazy today. I'm like, what the fuck am I even doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like why did I move out here? I should just stop everything. And I'm just like full on like recluse. I want to like quit like everything. If I skip the gym, like if I'm just because I just feel like I just feel gross, I guess.
Yeah.
And like it's not even so I'm not even by no means like a bodybuilder or like in this like crazy fit lifestyle, but just doing that just makes me feel I guess better about myself. And if I skip it, I'm like very sad.
Bro, you look like a linebacker for the Green Bay Packers. You are aware of this, right?
I know I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you
work out a
look
good
like
amount.
working out. Like you're not a fat dude. You're a big dude.
Yeah. See, this is what people tell me, and then I post the video, and I don't get that. I get none of that. I did a roast, and I was like, I'll wear all black, and then the other guy's gonna write fat jokes, and it totally won't work. And they worked. They worked real good. On
Yeah, bro. Yeah, they're gonna get them. They're still gonna work. Okay.
like it is like a thing.
Well, in a roast, even if you're a little bit overweight, it's just gonna be fat jokes.
And but that's like the depression I have, and it is weird because I feel like I don't know if it's seasonal depression. I've never been diagnosed because I have friends with like real depression and diagnosed, so I don't like to be like, oh, I'm depressed. It's like, no, I know people who have been depressed, and I don't want to like diminish their level of depression, but I've been very low to a point of like to a point where I was so weak I couldn't like pick up a cup of water. Like I remember one night where it was like so many things built up. This is back like right after college. My mom passed away. I jumped into a job I hated, and I was just working, like counting pills going into bottles, like in like an assembly line. And it just went from like college kid, no problems to mom's dead. and this is your life now. You work at a job you hate. And I was just depressed as fuck. And then I remember one night I was like so sad. I went to like go get a cup of water, and I thought maybe I was like sick or something, but I went to grab the water and the water was heavy. And I just felt, it was the most weak I've ever felt in my life. It was very weird.
Bro, I would say this. Depression has degrees to it. Yeah. So even though you may say, hey, I'm not as depressed as this person, doesn't mean you're not depressed.
Yeah.
You definitely, that's everything you described is literally depression.
And it doesn't diminish other people's depression, you know? Yeah.
I just don't like when people are like, oh, I was late today, or like, oh, I didn't get to get the food I want. I'm depressed. And it's like, no, you're fucking not.
Yeah. You're just a little bit sad and upset.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it didn't go my way. I'm depressed. It's like, I know people who've diagnosed with it. So I'm like, it's kind of like when someone just meets someone, they're like, oh, I love that guy. It's like, no, you fucking don't. You just met him. You know?
I like the presentation they just gave us of themselves.
Yeah, you know, it's
but
like,
that sounds weird if you say that.
it's just one of the words that gets thrown out a lot.
It is.
People self-diagnose all the time, and it's like, are you sad, or are you just not getting attention right this moment?
I honestly think if you went in, you're getting a diagnosis, brother.
Well, that was one time.
Yeah.
And then now it's like I notice, like, if I like going throughout like the year, like throughout like an entire year, there's moments of like, even though things are going right, I'm still just beating the fuck out of myself for no reason at all that I can like fathom. And then I'm just like, why am I sad as shit for no reason? And then it just goes away, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Welcome to the club. That's all I want to say. Welcome to the club.
But it happens a lot.
Yeah. That's why I say, you're a comedian? 8 years? Yeah, you're depressed. Okay.
All right.
Welcome to our show where we do the diagnosis for you. No, you can just take that to a doctor. My friends told me I was. Here's for the evidence. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it could, dude, it's one of those things like, and I get it because, God, I don't know how many women I've met in this town. I'm not trying to pick on anybody that say, I'm depressed. And I'll be like, really? Where was your diagnosis? And it's just like, well, I'm sad. They canceled, One Tree Hill. And I'll be like, I hate you. I hate you so much. But but there's a lot of people that really have it. So
to be fair, I did go into a deep depression when they canceled One Tree Hill.
Yeah.
I love you, Jimmy. Jimmy never disappoints me, bro. He got my back.
So it's a lot of situational depression. Right. So it's like, but that's still like, it lingers. That's the thing about depression. It can linger, and just stick around. And it's
for me, the only thing that makes it go away is just doing stuff.
Yeah,
like is just that's why like going to the gym became such a thing where it's like if I don't go and accomplish this, I feel like I did nothing today.
Yeah,
and like unless I'm like my day is so jam packed with like productivity.
Yeah,
if I'm left alone with myself, I'm miserable. Like even if I'm like playing video games, which I love doing, the second I put them down, I'm like, I didn't get shit done today.
Yeah. Oh, I have to look. I'm a notorious video game player, so I get that. Sometimes I play them so much, I'll be like, are you trying to avoid something, or are you really trying to beat this game? I do have to question that because I have it's real easy for me to just dissociate. So I have to question myself when I'm playing sometimes, especially if I could, there have been days where I dropped 12 hours in a game and then I look up and I was like, I haven't ate today. I've been in front of this computer playing this game.
Lucky. See, dude, Uber Eats fucks me, dude. Yeah. BOGOs. Oh my God. I'm playing for 8 hours and just like, I've ordered Uber Eats twice in a day. during the same session. It's embarrassing.
I can tell you my last time I used Uber Eats was in 2022 and I was in San Antonio and we ordered IHOP and my account has sat dormant since.
Nice.
I use it on the road mostly.
Last time I used it was 22 hours ago, roughly.
22 hours ago.
if I have to think about it.
Right. Today's episode was brought to you by Uber Eats.
Brought to you by BOGO 6 tacos.
Okay, first of all, that's a great deal. Send that one to me. I may use Uber tonight.
Shout out Bomb Tacos, BOGO tacos. I get 6 of them. Well, I pay for 3 and I get 6.
Dude, okay.
This is the max they
pretty
let me
good.
do.
And then the Hawaiian, the Hawaiian place? What's it called?
Oh, Hawaiian Joe's.
Yeah.
I just made that up. I don't know the name of it, but it's a Hawaiian place.
It's a Hawaiian place. You could have ran with it. I'd have been Googling, where's Hawaiian Joe's?
It's like something Hawaiian, and they do BOGO.
Yeah.
And I'll just get that shit, and I'll eat 2 full portions while yelling at children in Warzone or Marvel Rivals.
Oh, dude. Marvel Rivals is my game. Who do you main?
Raccoon and Luna for heals, and then Squirrel Girl. And I got to GM is the highest I've gone.
Okay, cool. So we're playing the same characters.
Yeah.
I go between Squirrel Girl and Luna. That's it.
Okay.
All right, cool. I had to throw that in there. That was a mental health break.
Yeah. Back to depression.
That was a mental health break. That was it. So, okay, let's talk about this, man. Is your dad still alive?
My dad is still alive. Yeah.
Okay.
I talk to him like at least 2-3 times a week.
And siblings, how many?
4 brothers.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All close. I know we heard you talking to one before the show.
Yeah, close. I have 2. It's I hate saying like stepbrothers because they're my brothers.
That's how I say
my
mine.
dad had 2 sons from a previous marriage, and they lived in New York. And over the summer, they would come down, and I'd be with them every summer.
Right.
So I still got raised with them, but immediate brothers too.
Okay.
Like that were every day in my life.
In my house, and I'm tired of looking at you in my house.
Yeah. We fought constantly
Yeah,
as
I get
kids.
that.
But we're like best friends now as adults. I talk to both of them every week.
Okay. That's my life. It's 5 of us, 5 boys, 3 previous, and then my brother and I. So yeah, I get that, man. The reason I asked you about that was because the mom thing, when my dad passed, I thought I was going to quit comedy because he was my biggest fan. So a lot of times we don't talk about how losing a parent affects us. Can you talk about it right now?
Yeah, I can talk about it.
I mean, even now, do you still have issues with her not being here?
No, I don't have issues. It's weird because I'm sure I hope you've experienced this. Have you ever had a dream where it's as if they never died and your life has progressed and you're just having a conversation with them?
Yes.
I've gotten into an argument with my mom in the past year in my dream. And it was as if it was like a different like world where she just didn't pass. And I was just arguing. She was getting mad at me for something.
Yeah.
And I got mad at her. I was like, what the fuck? Why are you yelling at me?
Yeah, no, I had a conversation. My dad was a very calm dude, but there was had this dream where he was just talking to me about comedy and the stuff, hey, have you thought about doing this and thought about doing this? And dude, I was so emotional when I woke up. I was like, what the hell was that? So yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I've had a weird one because there was a stretch where it kept happening. And I used to be like a lucid dreamer to an extent. And I became lucid in it while she was there.
Wow.
It was very weird. And I was just like, you're alive. What the, I was like, this is very weird. And I hugged her and woke up. It was super, it just felt very weird. I didn't wake up. I wasn't sad or anything. I was just like, what the fuck was that?
Oh yeah. It was emotional because it was one of my dad's classic talks, but it felt so updated. So I was like, I wasn't sad. It was just like, wow, I needed that. He showed up in the dream and hooked me up with that. I needed that. Thanks. Appreciate you. But I kept it moving. But yeah, I get that. I've had that happen.
Yeah. And you said your dad, him passing almost made you quit comedy?
Oh yeah. I was ready to walk out of this thing because it was 2014 when I got here. And he had fought cancer and beat it before. So this time when he got it the second time, we were like, well, you beat his ass the first time. So we were all kind of blasé about it, you know. But then he was definitely different about it. And we'd talk. And I wasn't living here. I was in Oklahoma, but I'd call him and we'd just hold these long conversations and I'd hear stuff from him. And I'd go, no, he's different. There's something different about this. And he knew this time he wasn't going to beat it. And so he plotted out he quietly never said anything to anybody, paid for his funeral, paid for the headstone, set everything in motion. It was all you got to do is figure out what words to put on here. This son's going to do that. One of you needs to live with your mom. Y'all figure out who's going to do that. I was the guy that chose. I'll go live with mom because he told us in the letter that he left to us, your mom's never made peace with this, so I need one of y'all to live with her. She's going to lose her shit because she's never made peace. This time I'm not going to beat it.
Yeah.
So that was in the letter. So I was the only one. Like my comedy career kind of stalled. I didn't have a job worth. Same thing. I said, I hate the job I got. Fuck this. So I moved to Austin and lived with her, and that's how I got here. But yeah, I remember that.
How long were you in the comedy when that happened?
Oh God. So that would have been maybe 12 years at that point.
Okay, so you were deep in the comedy.
Oh yeah, I'd already dropped one album, and I was pretty much on autopilot at that point, man, in life. Gotcha. Comedy. I was just like, oh, I'm doing stand up, but I'm just floating through life. And a lot of that was that I did have a lot of undiagnosed issues from like the military, from PTSD and depression. And I wasn't doing anything. I was just floating. So
yeah. And
then him happening, him passing just kind of made me go, okay, I've had enough. So So that's why I asked, man, because losing parents, I don't wish it on anybody, but it's going to happen to all of us eventually.
No, it's the worst thing I've ever dealt with so far, but probably the biggest lesson you ever learn as far as something actually sticking. As people teach you shit your whole life. You go to school and then you've been military. Yep. You've had a bunch of people teach you things. And it's like, oh, I know how to do these things now. But when I lost my mom, it was like oh, this actually ends. Like having, everyone, by the time you're in elementary school, someone has told you, we all die, right?
Right.
Like someone tells you that, whether it's in a joke or you see someone else pass, but when someone super close does, I don't know, for me, up until that point, I was I was very, I don't want to say dumb. I was definitely dumb. I will say that. I was in college and I was getting high all the time, not really doing anything. But I was very innocent, I guess, to say, where it's just like I kind of just did whatever I wanted. Oh, whatever, things will work out, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then that happened. And I'm just like, oh, fuck. This happened to me now. And that really kind of that's what made me actually flip into doing things I wanted. And that's actually pushed me into comedy.
Yeah, surprisingly. No. It'll change you. And it's one of the things especially you guys are at that age, man. Like I'm 54. I lost my dad when I was in my 40s. You guys are at that age where it's like, you don't want to think about a parent leaving you at any point, but I'm at the part where I have to think about that. Like, my mom's getting older, so, and that's rough. So
yeah, I was 25. I got a phone call.
Jesus,
that fucking sucked.
I was there. I hung out with him. They let me talk to him. He was non-responsive, so I had to sit by the bed and.
Yeah, my mom couldn't
talk to him.
You sleep in the hospital room for a night or two before or something?
I got there the day he passes. My mom told my brother, you go get him and bring him home. And they came up to Oklahoma, got me. I got home. He's non-responsive. I'm in there, and I made a joke, and he kind of like that. And everybody say, I'll leave it to you to get him to do. That's the most he's done today. He's tried to laugh at your joke. And then they were like, hey, you're going to get some time alone with him. Mm-hmm. And they gave each one of us alone time. And it was sucked.
Yeah,
it sucked.
It's not good.
No.
You need to do that.
Yeah.
But it's rough.
Yeah, I still remember that whole conversation. Sometimes I have to say it back to myself when I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I have to hear that conversation and go, oh, yeah, I can. Yeah. I can do it. Okay.
I think the worst I ever felt was after it happened, where it's like, because my mom had cancer too. Mm-hmm. And the doctors, she's in hospice. It's at a point where she can't talk. It's like everyone knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, we're just counting down the time now.
Yeah, we're kind of just like, no, there's still that 0.001% chance. Everyone's just trying to pretend to hold on. But you're like, no, it's at that point now where they're not getting rid of it. And then when it happens, I just remember it was the most quiet I've ever, I don't know, the deepest silence I've ever been in. Yeah. It was we all drove home and we're just kind of sitting in the home. I mean, just kind of fuck. Like no one knew what to say. Everyone was just quiet. Oh. And that it felt like that for, I didn't know what to do. You just kind of just sat in it.
It's the roughest thing you'll do, but it's the best thing. I'm one of those guys with my depression and mental health. If I don't feel comfortable or want to face something, I'll find something to mask it. I'll figure this out. it'd be drugs, alcohol, sex, whatever. Don't want to face that issue. There was nowhere to run from that one. So I had to sit in that day too, just like, okay, this is it. So he's not going to be at any of my shows, and he's not coming back to this house tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
And you just sit with it, and it sits on you until the funeral.
Yeah.
And then I did 5 minutes at my dad's funeral. I did 5. They made each one of us come up and we need each boy to come up and say something. That's what he wanted. And I was like, I'm going to do 5.
Man. I remember when it happened, it was sad. It all happened, all the family, you see everybody.
Oh God, yeah.
And I thought I faced it, but the second we were done with like all the funeral, all the processes,
yep.
I had to go back and graduate. This happened 2 weeks before I graduated college. So I had to go back and take all my finals. I missed a test, and I like told the guy, I was like, hey, my mom died. Can I take this test? He's like, yeah, of course. Fucking come in. Took it. Graduated. I fell asleep during the graduation. I didn't care.
Wow.
I was like sitting there with like my cat and gown. I was just like, this fucking sucks. I don't give a shit about graduating. And then I remember I didn't fully face it until, when was it? It was like when I actually felt that depression.
Yeah.
And it's when I felt it that night, I was realizing I was just kind of running from what I wanted to do. And I was just kind of filling my life with, I had gotten in like crazy good shape. Mm-hmm. I was like 265 pounds running like an 8-minute mile, doing like pull-ups. Like I was like very big and strong. I was like kind of like hiding behind it.
Yep.
I was like, oh, look, I'm working. I was working 3 jobs. I was bouncing 2 bars. I was working full time, like nonstop, working out. And I just fucking inside, just like kind of dying.
Yeah.
And I just kept running, like literally running from it. And then it finally all came to a halt, and I got fired from my job. And I was just like, well, now what? I don't have this one piece of my armor just fell off. And then that's when the moment where I was at home and I couldn't pick up the cup, and I was like, I'm fucking depressed.
Yeah.
And there was a couple nights where I lived on this back road, and there was no like street lights on it. Mm-hmm. So if I didn't have my headlights on, pitch dark. There's at least like 5 or 7 times I can recount where I was just like, yeah, fuck it. I just turned the headlights off and just let go of the wheel. I was like, let's see what happens. And I did that a good amount of times. And then I eventually, I don't want to say pussy out because it's not, you don't want to let that happen. But I would just be like, what the fuck? I would just like every night play with it.
Oh, you stared into the abyss.
Yeah, I was just like, let's see if this takes me. And I did that a few times, and that was like the lowest I ever felt. Mm-hmm. And then I just started, I just kind of started thinking about what I should do. How do I feel better? And then I really just started only doing things I want to do. I went out to an open mic, tried it, and loved it. And I just started doing comedy every night. And it just kind of pushed me into stop caring what people think. If I don't get happy, there's no point of doing anything.
Right.
And that's kind of where it led me.
That's a deep ass story, but there's some nuggets of truth in that.
Yeah.
Dude. Jimmy, you got one?
Seems like you just processed it eventually, and and then I think that the big turning point seemed to be like, what can I do now? What can I turn this into? And started doing stand up after that, right? And then
well, I just got to a point where I really just kind of felt like, what the fuck am I doing? Like I'm working a job I hate. Like I got to use my degree eventually, and I was working this sales job, and I was just in there miserable every day. And then when I eventually got fired from that, that's led to everything. Wow. And I was just like, oh, I need to do something.
Yeah. And now you're full-time comic, full-time, you edit, you film, and I am grateful that I get to be your friend and see you enjoy what you do. Like right now, you are living your dream and are chasing your dream and just kicking ass, just absolutely crushing it. And it's cool to see that, because like when it's life can be so dark, and you eventually crawl out of it, and you did, and I'm proud of you.
Oh yeah, because you crawled out of that without any support groups or anything. You just
No, well, yes and no, because I never went to like a support group, but there is something that people that have like close friends and family, you really take it for granted to an extent, you know, having someone that you can call for a while, but all the way up until after I started doing comedy, I really didn't call anybody. I didn't tell anybody about it. I kind of grew up in like fucking rub some dirt on it. Like that was like a phrase that was said to me. You get hurt. There's something that like, oh, you're sick. I don't give a fuck. Show up to work. You're hurt. Oh, you messed your shoulder up. You messed your knee up. You still got to go to the workout. You still got to go to practice.
That's what they told me when I got out the military.
Yep.
And they were just like, there was no thing for PTSD at that time. They were just like, you'll get over it.
Yeah, toughen the fuck up.
Yeah,
that's pretty much like
pretty much what you. And you know, your options are, well, I can either eat this bullet or toughen up, and that's just got to eat.
Yeah,
I just got to toughen up and deal with it until I can't deal with it anymore. Mm-hmm. And that was what happened. I mean, with you and your situation, it's like, oh, I just got to face all this now.
Yeah,
and just. But yeah, support systems are amazing, and we stress. I don't think we've had a guest yet that's come on here that didn't have. Drew Nickens told us he had a system in place, you know, and you've had one too, you know.
Yeah, Drew was talking about having a system of when he's depressed, a list of things that he'll go through to do, like call a friend or exercise or watch something that is enjoyable on TV. So, so just like going through that list for him helped. And then obviously, like both of you said, staying busy and and I was talking to Justin before the episode, just staying busy makes, you know, you're saying that brings you happiness.
I need to feel productive.
Being
the
productive.
best making something or being creative.
Having projects.
Yeah.
Now
multiple projects going on so that I always have seeds to nourish.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that because sometimes when that busy, I know I'm so anti-grind in comedy, you know, because there's so many people that are grinding. And I'm always telling young comics, it's like, well, I'm doing 6 mics a week. I said, I'd rather see you do less mics and do more quality. So being busy for the sake of busy isn't necessarily good for you, but
that's a huge thing I've been having to face. Well, not face, but like really be obstructively look at yourself. Because like you can be getting work done, but you could be neglecting the work that needs to get done. That's something that I've like, it's like, oh yeah, I could show up to 6 mics, but it's like, are you showing up to those 6 mics and are you saying the same shit and not tweaking it just because you could do it? Why would you do that? Why would you skip the mic the next day and actually fucking listen to your set and be like, oh, I fucked up here, and then hit the mic and fix it?
Fix it, yeah.
You know,
give some quality over quantity is always going. I don't know why we don't put that in every part of life. Yeah, I could sleep with 60 women, but I'd rather sleep with only a few quality women. So quality always over quantity.
It's one of those things. Like it's something that like it's a cliche thing that everyone's heard before.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the by the time I feel like you hit your 20s or 30s, I feel like you've heard every piece of advice you could hear.
Yeah.
And if they haven't resonated with you yet, you just need to hear it from the right person.
Yep.
Like usually when someone tells you something that makes you go, aha, like fuck, why haven't I been doing that? It's something you knew, or it was like some lame ass dickwad told you, and you're like, oh, that guy sucks.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that from him.
Right here.
Yeah, but then you hear from someone that you you know what I mean.
I know.
Then you hear from someone that you respect. You know. Sorry.
You pointed at me, and then you pointed at me. Piece of shit.
That's how I know y'all are best friends. Because only somebody that's a best friend does that to you. And the other friend goes, bruh, what are we doing right now?
But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah,
you know,
I get it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I fucking love Jimmy.
I will give you, I do wax philosophical on you sometimes.
No, you're good. I wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but I am a guy that does that. And you know what I noticed? Like a lot of the advice that I give is shit like that I need to be doing myself, and it comes from like
bro,
shit I'm not doing. It's crazy.
The best advice I ever gave was shit I needed to be doing in my own life, bro. That's notorious for that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't so much shitting on like my personal friend telling me advice. It's like where
I don't know,
more so like a teacher telling you, hey, you need to prepare.
Yeah.
You need to be at home and do this thing. You need to do your homework. You need to, if you study and actually care, you can go far in life. You can actually chase your dreams. And you're hearing this from someone that you fucking despise.
Yeah.
And you're
you
like,
just gave me homework and I don't like you.
I don't want that dipwad. I don't want her to be right. I don't want him to be right.
Yeah.
That guy's full of shit. I don't believe him.
Right.
But then you hear someone that like you actually like vibe with, you understand each other, and you're like, this person's in a place I want to be. Let me hear it from him.
Yeah.
And they say the same shit, but it actually clicks because you actually give a fuck.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it holds more weight.
Yeah.
The teacher, it's like follow your dreams. It's like, was your dream to be a second grade teacher? You piece of shit.
We love educators. I know a lot of teachers. Jimmy doesn't mean anything. Every teacher I know is going to be in my DMs later talking about, what the fuck's Jimmy mean about that?
Nah, but
he said what he said.
I had teachers that were cool as fuck, and then I had some that was like, yo, you fucking suck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like some teachers I've like got to hang out with, not after. That sounds weird. I got to
after school.
Well, a good amount because I grew up. You played football too, I'm assuming, right, big dude? Yeah. Sorry.
I played football too.
What position were you?
I left bench.
Okay. Did you play? Did you go like do football in high school?
No, I played Pee Wee.
You played Pee Wee? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy that when you think back to it, it's like I'm 16 years old and I'm spending 3 hours every day outside of school with like a grown ass man teaching me like how to play a game.
That's cool.
Just I remember our coach, our O-line coach, he was like at the time, in my head, I was like, oh, he's so old. He's probably only in his like 40s or 50s, I was a kid. And he's just spending his entire day yelling at these O-linemen. And we're all like 3 times the size of him. And he's just like screaming at us, teaching us, like toughening us up. And one thing he said, he goes, you'll learn more shit out here than you'll learn in any of those fucking classrooms.
Wow.
And he kept reiterating that. About like showing up to shit you don't want to do. And he's just like, oh, it's raining, it's tough. Who gives a fuck?
Executing.
Get
no
on
matter
the ground
what's
and
happening.
do a fucking up down. He's like, stop being a puss. Like, I'm remembering it.
Yeah.
Fucking man.
I
dude.
still remember my coach, man. Levi Redden, I don't know where you are, but you kicked my ass and now I'm being successful, brother. So yeah, I get it. It's one of those crazy stories, man.
Some of that tough love stuff is helpful sometimes. What
It
did you
is.
find? Did you find it helpful when they were like that?
From the coach I liked.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right.
There was also coaches where you're like, this guy's an asshole, and the other coaches don't respect him.
Right.
Like when that guy says something, I'm like, fuck it. Like there would be times where he was like one of the coaches and he'd be like, oh, we're doing stuff over here. The coach I liked would be like, he literally would look at us and go, oh, fuck him. We're running this drill.
Yeah.
He's like, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I like that coach. Yeah. But it's a coach you don't like. You're like, I hope you get hit by a car. You mean it too. Boy, you're like, I hope every bad thing happens to you and only you. Yeah, dude, I get it. That's crazy, man. Life is weird like that, though, man. Because I don't know how many times I've had people who I cannot stand tell me stuff that I needed to hear. And I'll be like, and here's the thing. Somebody like Jimmy will say something to me and I'll go, fuck, yeah, you're right, Jimmy. And then I'll think about the piece of shit that said it to me and I'll go, fuck, Jimmy. You shouldn't have reminded me that motherfucker told me. I'm happy Jimmy told me because I'm like, I like Jimmy, and I'm glad Jimmy told me that. But fuck that other dude that told that same thing, man.
There's a lot of dumb motherfuckers that'll watch a therapy video or some sort of influencer and then just spit that shit out at you. And it's great advice, but it's like, dude, you ain't doing shit. Why are you telling me what to do?
Yeah. It kind of sucks. But I like, so in AA meetings, you like, especially if I'm not like sound, like I'll just hate someone. Like there was a meeting where this dude came in late, and it's like if you come in late, the unspoken rule in AA, if you come in late, you don't share. You sit, you're 15 minutes late, sit down. You don't know the topic, just sit down and listen. But this dude, he was like 19 and he came in and he was loud when he came in and he was with 2 girls and he interrupted the fucking meeting. and I really wanted him to die in a fire. And so he sat down, and then the meeting opened up, and he was the first one to share, because like, there's like announcements and things they read, and he goes, I forgot his name, but Joey Alcoholic, what was the topic? And I was like fuming, and then I forgot what he shared, but it was something I really needed to hear, and he like spoke from the heart. I hated his guts, but he said something I needed to hear. So sometimes, if I can shed that, oh, this guy stinks, and then just listen, it kind of helps.
I go through that too, Jimmy. My dad used to say, sometimes your blessing is in the hand you don't want to shake.
Yeah.
And I have to remind myself of that, because there are people, especially in comedy, there are some people that I could learn a lot from. And I probably would benefit from being nicer to them and working with them. But you know me, I have the 3 Ps, the people, the project, and the pay. If I don't like the people, I fucking won't work with the people. You got to get 2 of the 3, people, the project, or the pay. And if I can't get 2 of that 3, people being a big one, it's like there's a dirtbag comic on there and I hate him, I don't give a shit what that pay is. You're going to have to say something pretty outstanding to me to get me to go work with this piece of shit I hate. So I get that.
Yeah.
We're always like that.
Yeah. Yeah. We're only human.
Yeah, man.
Or are we dancer?
This guy's killing it.
So let's see. What else? So we talked about depression. So you're not an alcoholic. You don't do drugs, really?
No, I'll smoke weed like once a month.
Yeah.
And then I'll drink maybe once every other week. I'm like, it's never like, it's very rare. I'm like, let's go out and drink. If I'm in the right mood, if I'm done with all my work, everyone's around, everyone's having a good time. It's like, all right, I'll have some drinks.
Exactly. And you're responsible. From what I see, you're responsible. You don't drink and drive. You're like, if you drink too much, you'll leave your car. And so yeah, there's so much like balance. You seem so balanced as a person. I know, obviously, but why do you think you haven't opened up about like depression and stuff with friends?
I didn't think it was necessary for them to know.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's like, if someone was around me when I was like really sad, if they asked what's up, I would tell them, like when it was all going on, there was those friends saw me dealing with it. They knew what the root cause was, but I just kind of never really felt the need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing if it was like, if I was at a point right now where I wasn't doing things because I was holding on to that, then I would probably seek help.
Yeah.
But I got very fortunate that my coping mechanism of being really sad is just getting things done.
Yeah.
Like I just kind of like, instead of like at the lowest point, I was clearly reclusing and then I faced it. But now it's like, if I'm sad or like feeling depressed, I know for a fact if I do things and make a really good video, get a great workout in, have a great set, if I do any of those things, I'm immediately feeling better. I have a cure for it, I guess.
That's amazing.
For the instant.
Yeah. And you have different outlets too, because not only do you do comedy, but you podcast, you edit, you create content. So it's like, I think it's very valuable not just to have one, because like I don't have a lot of different things like that, but to be able to pick and choose, and like Justin was saying, have multiple projects and being like, today, if you're not feeling like creative with your writing, you can get creative with a like an edit of a video.
Yeah.
But it's cool watching you. I was talking about it last podcast. It brings me joy when I see you. Because like me and Jake will go to a coffee shop, and he'll edit a video, and he's working real hard. You're working real hard, but you're also laughing your ass off, and you're into it. You really do get lost in your work, which is pretty cool. Like you're very you go all out, and it's the type of people I like to surround myself with.
Well, I think it's also important that you have all that different stuff to work in. And this has come up on the podcast before with guests where we were like, if you have all these other areas, if one area goes to shit, well, great. There's 5 other areas I'm killing it in right now. So my whole life isn't going to crash down around me because this one area went to shit. And that diversity in your life is just a smart move, man.
Yeah.
That's dope, bro. You're starting to do that, though. I'm seeing you making power moves, bro. You don't sing your own praises much, but I be watching you, Jimmy. You doing some dope shit, bro.
I'm trying. I mean, I am. I gotta give myself credit.
Yeah, I'm giving you the credit, bro, because you're doing some dope shit.
Jake's a big part of it, because he's helped me with a lot of the sketches I've done. I mean, it's been me and Jake working together.
Nice.
I'm trying to put it all together. I guess I'm a little different where I get stressed out over anything that's not stand-up. So stand-up I can handle. I mean, I sat at the coffee shop for an hour and a half today trying to think of sketches. I just couldn't think of fucking anything. Anything. And all my ideas sucked. And I guess it's hard to... sometimes you just get blocks, like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And at other times I won't be blocked. I'm just so narrowed in. I'm hyper focused on stand up right now.
That can happen, man.
Because like stand up, I can write. I've been writing a lot of stand up, a lot of new stuff, putting out new stuff.
Yeah, but you're also really good at writing stand up.
Yes.
Like it's probably. I haven't seen your sketches. They could suck. I don't know. But I'm saying you are, as far as writing, you are someone that if I came to you with like just a thought, you will find a way to turn it into something that's actually worth dick on stage. Mm-hmm. Like you're very good at it. Like it's to a point where when I write with you, like, or I'm like writing, I'm like, fuck, Jimmy just wrote this whole fucking joke. Damn it. Like where I'm happy and you're like, dude, it's yours. I'm like, yeah, it's I gave the bass and you just like toned everything up.
We got there together.
He's basically your coach in the gym. He's your personal trainer for jokes.
You know what I mean? Like, so I can see you being crazy hard on your writing for sketches where the sketches, especially if you're just making for an Instagram, like a 1-minute sketch.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
No.
It's like, I think that's what I'm trying to do. It's like, because I'll see like other sketches that people are, like the Almost Friday sketches. Yeah. And
you see the ones that they put out in between, like they're ones that are like shot super well.
Yeah.
It's literally just a caption and them riffing with a really dumb idea.
I know.
That's not well put together and it does great and it has funny moments, but the thing as a whole isn't this killer 1-minute thing.
Right.
There's one or two pieces of it that resonate with the viewers.
And then, so they'll like edit, there'll be longer things and then they'll cut it up or whatever.
They'll cut it up and they'll have these moments that if you're the right audience, it's funny the whole time. But there's parts of it where you'll be like, well, that wasn't that funny. Oh, that's funny. This made me want to share it.
Yeah. It just has to resonate. Then you find your audience.
Yeah.
Plus, you're one of those guys, and I told you this before, man, your name is starting to pop up more for people who don't get recognized as being killers. And you're on that list. You fucking crush when you get a mic in your hand.
Thanks,
and I've seen you enough times to do it. And I ain't blowing smoke up your ass because there's a lot of people who I haven't told you crush. Jimmy crushes. Okay. and he's had the proof of crushing in multiple audiences in different situations. You absolutely murdered when we did that show for Janessa Carlene. And you followed me that night.
Yeah.
And to do. I was trying to give him that work. I was like, I don't care who follows me. I'm not going to be the worst person on this show that Jimmy comes in and just goes, here's some jokes, motherfucker, and I'm funnier than Roderick. And I was like, hurt my feelings. Like, he crushed it. And I was like, well, okay, I did not work hard enough, man. Jimmy just followed that like I didn't do shit in front of him. So,
well, that's the thing I've been trying to do. Well, first of all, thank you. And coming from... That's a really nice compliment coming from you because you're an absolute killer.
I try, man.
I'm just working. I'm working really, really hard. I don't want to miss an opportunity or something good that could happen because I'm choosing not to like put in the time. And I don't have a job now. So, I mean, I can't just sit in the house being like feeling depressed or whatever. I have to like go out and
I get a text almost every day from this guy. Hey, I'm at radio writing.
Yeah.
You got which one do y'all go to? The one over there off of Menchaca?
Yeah.
I love that.
So he'll sit and edit, and I'll sit and write, or that he'll write, and we'll both write and bounce ideas off. So it's some form of either stand up or sketches for just like, you know, every day. And
I went to one of those yesterday myself, man. Jordan Yates has his comedy brunch at his house. It's at his condo. And a bunch of comedians show up and they just, here's my new joke I got. Here's the old joke I'm trying to tag up. And then they bring in somebody to be a guest speaker. And I was the guest speaker yesterday. And I got like that thing. We were there at 5:00 still, just good comedy hang, talking to everybody, sharing. You know, like a lot of times people will try to, we realize there's no kind of program here where a veteran or mentor a younger comic. And so he's trying to do that.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I kind of came in, and then one of the guys said, you know, usually when we talk to a veteran comic, they give us these breadcrumbs. They said, you were just slicing off whole pieces of a loaf. Just like, you could try this. Have you thought about this? Maybe you should write to this. Because my biggest problem is, like, I know it's a lot of guys are writing here in town, funny minutes, but you're not writing toward an hour or a set or toward being a feature. And so that was my thing yesterday, was talking about that.
I see that for sure, especially with a newer comic in this atmosphere. It's like, why would they try to do that? It's like, oh, I can just write I need the best 1 minute for Kill Tony.
Yep.
Like I could see a new comic. It's like, oh, that's all that matters right now. I need the tightest 1 minute ever.
Yeah. We're got all these 1 minutes that don't make sense as a whole. So
where when I started, and I'm sure it's similar for you guys, where it was like, you need to write your first 5. You need to have a tight 5.
Yeah.
If you don't have a tight 5, you ain't worth dick yet. Write that, and once you get that, all right, write another 5.
It was all
Find a way to
about,
connect it.
yeah.
Write another one.
Yeah.
And then you build to, I'm a feature now. All right, fuck. Now that jump from being like a 5-10 minute comic to feature is massive. It's like, oh shit, I have to do 30. But then going from 30 to 45 is way smoother. Because you're just adding a little bit more to it.
I pushed myself last year. I got to do 80 minutes at a show.
Damn.
Wow.
And look, man, I've been headlining for a lot of years, and that was the first time in my life, maybe second time in the last 2 years where I've had to do more than an hour. Doesn't happen a lot anymore, man. Most times I go to shows and it's like, you're going to do 45 and that's your headliner. And I was like, I remember when I had to do 60 minimum to get my check. Couldn't cut short anywhere in that in 60. And now it's like 45. And I'm like, I'm not even going to work hard for that. That's okay. I got 45s to pick from. What do you want the topic to be tonight? So, yeah, but it should be a program where we push people to write and build 10s and 15s and 30s.
Because it gets easier as you do it more. So it's like you find out what you just find out what works. So, and then now the more you get to know yourself, now you're like, it's just easier to write because you're like, you know your style. So like I realized this was like a no-brainer, but I think it was one of Gary Goldman's tips where he's like, look at all the jokes that work for you and find like a theme. And all the jokes that work for me are dialogue driven, like conversations. And like any jokes where I'm just like commenting on stuff, they don't really hit. So I'm like, okay, and then that makes sense because I don't know why it makes sense, but that's so like now I know that going in the direction of even if it's not real, just like a conversation that would happen, whether it's usually conversations with myself, but I just put it into dialogue. It just gets easier to go, but like it's never going to get easier if you try to skip that part.
Yep. So that was our mentorship, and I like that you basically are doing a 2-man version of that, sitting in radio. Just you're doing your thing. You both write and you're pushing each other, and that scene needs more of that, man. That's how you're going to get longevity. Because I did not make it to 23 years not listening to my boys and figuring out my voice and writing the longer sets. I was always trying to write. Because when I started back in the day, you wrote toward it. The goal was, you're going to record an album. You got to do an hour. You got to write toward the hour. And I was like, that's a lot of 5 minutes I got to write to come up with that 160. So I don't know. Hopefully it'll change. It'll change.
Oh yeah, I think so. If your ultimate goal is to be a headliner, then I mean that's you kind of ignore what other people are doing, like the people that you see doing the same fucking 10 minutes at a new material show, wasting everyone's fucking time.
Yeah.
I got you. I knew that was going, but it needed to be said. It needed to be said.
Well, it's like the thought is like if your goal is to be a comic, it's like you worked, you get 45, so you can be a headliner. And then once you're headlining, it's like, all right, I'm doing my headlining show and kind of take my time and talk through these jokes. But if I get a 10-minute set, it's like, all right, now I have the opportunity to be forced to tighten this shit. I'm forced to cut the fat.
Yeah.
I'm used to being a little more laissez-faire and just kind of like talking through it willy-nilly. Right. Now it's like, I only have 10 minutes. How do I make this the funniest 10 minutes?
Right.
You know, how do I chop it down?
At the 10 minutes, man, sometimes what I'll do is take one joke and I'm about to work. We're about to do this. This joke, every freaking thought I've had about this joke, you're about to catch it for that 10 minutes. Because I've done that and it's funny, but also at the same time, I just realized I just did 10 minutes on one fucking, I didn't give them everything. I gave them this one topic and that one topic is hella funny. And I've mined everything I could get out of that topic. That's my new set. That's going on the album. I'm done. Set that 10 to the side. Let's go mine this other 10. And that's when I have to start doing that. But man, I like that, man. But I love, my favorite thing about comedy is we're all doing the same thing and we're doing it so differently. Like you're trimming the fat and I'm like, I'm fattening this bitch up. I want to see what's in this 10. Did I get everything off this bone when I got through with it?
Right. Well, part of even creating a longer set is trimming the stuff that doesn't work.
Yeah. There's definitely some shit I'm like, that take sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you have like this long bit, it's like, all right, this bit could be a 2 to 3 minute like bit, or it could be a minute 30 of only the funny, and now I have more time to put a funnier bit in.
Right.
You know, and so it's like I have 5 instead of doing 5 minutes with 2 okay jokes. Let's do 5 minutes with 2 or 3 jokes, but now they're way funnier. Yeah. They're just tighter.
Exactly.
You know,
yeah, I do have some that I've had to do that too, where I was like, this shit
like
sucks.
All your bits, because you'll have 10-minute bits and they're crushing from start to finish. You know, and you're just really good at crushing hard even with long form bits, because what you're saying is interesting, and people, I think that's why comics shouldn't, I mean, let me just talk about myself. I shouldn't just abandon a joke because it's okay, it gets a laugh and it's wrapped up nice, but like I want to be like, let's see another direction I can go. Let's see a different perspective on it. Let's just not I think it comes down to being lazy.
I don't know.
For me.
It could be sometimes. I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I have jokes now that I pulled out that I just was lazy with. I got the one funny thing out of it and I did not explore it further. Like, here it is. And I went to that thing and I sat down with those guys and I let them tag the shit out of that joke.
Yeah.
And they made there were at least 5 different viewpoints to that joke I had never even considered. That I was like, well, hold on. Let me write this down. And now my brain's starting to go, yeah, why didn't you think of that? That shit's great.
Well, that's just writing with another person. Yeah. That's why it's so good, because like you think about it, you start the joke, you're writing the joke. A lot of the times it's a spark from something you just think about. So like your initial take on the joke is one perspective, looking at it straight on, and you're trying to get that to work. And so, but like a second person can look at that joke without your vision of it and being like, oh, this, or what about this? Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can't believe I didn't see that. And then it changes everything. That's why comics should write more together. I think it's beneficial.
Oh yeah. No, I'm definitely hyped about going to these writing groups like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes you're just not even, it's not even so much that you're being lazy. It's you write it, you get it to a place where it's good enough and you're happy. And then there's another thing you're excited about doing. There's another joke where you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this one's crushing right now. How do I fucking tag that? You know, and you kind of just like, you leave something that has the potential to be gold and you're like, it's fine where it is right now. But this one joke, you know?
because you get excited about it. But like you have to like I have to be like, okay, I was excited about this joke when I first wrote it. So and I'm not excited about it because I haven't worked on it at all. So the excitement you'll get excited about it when you start fucking with it more. But it's
Cody
hard.
told me I put placeholders in jokes.
Yeah.
I was like, I've never heard somebody say that to me before. He said, I heard that joke, and it was funny, but there were certain things you said, and those felt like placeholders. Like, I'm going to set this here right now until I can come back to this. And I was like, so, wait, where were we?
We were talking about how I have a huge cock.
Yeah.
And
No, we were.
Mostly Jimmy's cock.
no,
Very important.
Get
Let's
food.
see.
I'm pretty hungry. Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Once again, I derailed us.
Oh, let's jump into one more thing. Relationships. You want to talk
All
about
right,
that? So you had a girlfriend before you moved here.
Yes.
And then are you cool talking about this?
Yeah. Fine.
Okay. And then the relationship ended
Yep.
after you moved to Austin,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of was one of those like, you know, you on the outside it's like you had a girl and you had a dream, and you were already well on your path of like following something you were passionate about, so you really couldn't not move to Austin. You kind of had to, and obviously you made the right choice, but it was tough, right? Yeah.
Very. I was terrified of even going on a date with this girl because I knew I would really like her.
Yeah.
Like, I've known this girl for about like 7 years. Like, she was one of the first people. She owned a bar and I ran a show at her bar. Mm-hmm. Met her when I was like brand new in comedy. And then she had like been there literally from the beginning of my career. And then all the way up until that point, either she was in a relationship or I was. We were always like, anytime we saw each other, we could just sit down and talk. And it was like, there was something there, but it never happened. And then less than, I'd say like 6-7 months before I was going to like move to Austin, she was single and we just happened to sit down at a bar next to each other and talk for like 2-3 hours. And I was like, oh, fuck. I'm going to end up dating this girl. I fucking know it. And then I just it pushed her away as much as I could. And then we eventually kept running into each other. We went on a date and then immediately we're like, yeah, we're just going to date now. Right. And I'm like, yeah, fuck.
Wow.
And then that was like the most compatible I've ever been with anybody.
Nah.
And I was like, damn, this is someone that I've never thought about ever putting a dream on hold until I was with this woman. I was like, fuck, this sucks. And then I was like, I have to move. If I don't move, I'm just going to stay a big fish in this blue pond. And I'm just going to like, let's say we fall in love and we have kids. There's going to be a piece of me that's going to be like, why the fuck didn't I try?
Yeah.
You know, and I was just like, I'll go. And she's like, honestly, the fact that you're doing that is the only reason I want to be with you. So like, if I ever tell you not to do that, I only love you because you want to do that. And she drove up to Austin with me, like packed up all my shit with me. We stayed we got a hotel. She flew her back. And then it got to a point where it was very much mutual of, I can't see you and this sucks. Like we're both like upset about it. And she keeps checking in with me, checking in like, oh, how is everything going? Like every night. And I keep telling her. And then it got to a point where it's like, she made me realize that she's like, I'm not in any of your plans. You keep telling me about how awesome this is and the next thing you're going to do and how you're going to move in with a couple comics and build a studio and all these exciting things, but I'm not in any of these plans. And I was like, yeah, you're not. And she was like, so what are we doing? I was like, I know where this is going and it's going to have to happen. And this was like super late at night because it was the only time we could talk because she was running a bar and would get off and I'd get off comedy. And then the next morning we were just very mutual. Like, yeah, we gotta end it. And we just ended it like very much like tip of the hat, which is very weird.
Yeah, it was almost like a business plan. Like, hey, Let's just run its course, and it's okay.
Because it wasn't like when people break up, usually one person's like doesn't like the other one more than the other. There's like some sort of dissatisfaction of like, fuck you, this is not working out. I don't like the way you do these. Like, it was very much she knew what I was trying to do, and I knew that all of her shit was there, and I was like, yeah, we gotta end it. And it wasn't even. It was just very, unfortunately, just very mutual, or I guess that's fortunate. But it's just a very shitty situation.
I hate those.
Yeah.
I love them and I hate them. Because most times it's usually me going, I think I'm a piece of shit and I think you can do better. I'm out of here. And then it's that I've never left a relationship where they didn't want to be, they always wanted to still be in it. And I'm always like, you could do better than me. I'm out.
Yeah, they don't buy that shit. Because that's my go-to move is, hey, I'm a piece of shit. You don't deserve to be with someone like me. I'm gonna let you down. I'm talking to the girl now, and I'm like, you don't want to be with me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you down. I'm
honest about it. Yeah, and like I'm being honest. I really know. Hey, right now I'm struggling with some stuff. You seem to have your shit together way more than I do, and I also I went to therapy, so I think I do have my shit together sometimes. I think they see. Mm-hmm. Look, if you just want to go, but you don't. You're not a piece of shit. And I'm like, I disagree. I hear my thoughts when you're not around. So I have to get out sometimes. And that's where I'm at the point now where I'm just kind of like, let me just work. Let me just focus on this next thing I want to do and don't look at anybody else. That's hard to do, though.
Not easy. It's definitely not easy. Do you see yourself getting into a relationship here in Austin in the future?
I definitely should. I definitely miss being I hate the being single part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got very used to having someone that I can go home to all the time, or we'd both finish our stuff and like be together.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. I'm not actively like chasing after anybody.
Smart.
I'm very keen on the secret to finding someone is to stop searching. And like, everyone's heard that phrase before,
Mm-hmm.
Of like, just keep doing what you do and you're going to run into someone that it just makes sense.
Yeah.
And until that happens, I don't know, I guess hook up with whoever you can. But
yeah,
the only women I'm constantly rubbing shoulders with are other comics. And that's just like off limits for me.
Yeah, me too.
So it's like,
I'm glad. Look, you know how I feel about that. I love my female coworkers. I do. I love them. But Jimmy knows. I was like, I've never dated a comic. And he's like, why? I was like, I have enough mental issues by myself. I don't need to bring them into this.
When I was newer, I did. I dated a comic, and
oh yeah,
I don't need to talk about that. But
was it a Florida?
It's all Florida. Yeah, I didn't talk to. There's no women up here. No comics I've talked to up here. But yeah, I don't know. Eventually, I'll run into someone that'll probably be either a fan of comedy or content that I do, or someone that's in a parallel industry where they understand I have to be doing comedy, I have to be doing these things, and they're busy with their shit. And then it's like, we can both just meet up after.
That's ideal.
But that's what I had in Orlando.
Right. It's hard to find. And then
it's so fucking hard to find, dude.
It's hard to find a non-comic that lives that type of lifestyle that works out.
Yeah. It's almost like they needed to own a bar and be working crazy hours like you.
Yeah, so that was good.
That's kind of.
Look, you were doing better than me. I met a girl at a show and we vibed and stayed in touch, and then we lost touch, and then I saw her again at a show, and she's single, I'm single. Great conversation, and then I finally said, "Hey, how old are you now?" And she said something very disappointing, and I was like, "And we are ending this conversation right here."
Too old?
She was 25.
Oh yeah, too old.
Yeah. Fucking spoiled.
The only island I want to be on is Moonstone Island. The game out now from Electronic Arts. I'm throwing in commercial, not Epstein Island. I don't want to play that game. Yeah, she was 25 and she's hot. 25. I can't do anything for a 25-year-old. It's like, please tell your mom I'm available. That's all I can do. I can't date a 25-year-old.
Yeah, it's not. I feel like I'm 32. I feel like that's like the youngest I could possibly go and not feel weird. I feel like I want someone who's like 30 though.
Dude, that's Leonardo DiCaprio shit if I do it. And I joke about him being gross.
Yeah.
So I can't do that. I can't date anybody younger than my youngest daughter. Like,
True.
Yeah, I guess
Okay. Yeah,
so.
you got kids.
yeah, gross.
Okay.
If you call my youngest child ma'am, we're done.
Yeah.
That's
I got
weird.
for me, it's like I have cousins that are like when
Pretty
I
hot.
held them when they were a baby,
Mhm.
and they're now like 21 and 23.
Yeah.
So it's like when I see girls that age, I'm like, oh, it's like my fucking cousin.
Yeah.
It's like that little it's the little girl that I like literally held as a baby. It's like I can't do that. I feel weird as shit. I'm saying that now, and then like the hottest girl ever. But,
Bro,
you know what I mean? She's like 23. I'm like, all right.
I'm telling you, it happened, and I was so upset. I was like, I just looked at my boy and I told him, "You're not gonna believe this shit." And he said, "Man, what's up with that chick you're vibing with?" No, sir. No, I'm going home. She's
25.
going home. I'm sure I'll see her again. We run into each other, but I can't do.
I mean, you know, she'll get older in time with time.
I'll be dead by the time she's at the right age. I'll be dead. I refuse to. What? Al Pacino's 80, and his girlfriend's in her late 20s or early 30s.
The fuck?
Yeah, like he just had a kid with her last year.
What a champion.
Robert De Niro just had a kid, and he's like, what, almost 80.
Yeah, all those cats are doing that. They're getting these young girls and have. I don't have
They love
their
them.
level of money or their level of interest in young women.
You
No,
think
thank
they're
you.
interested in them?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
They're looking at it
fuck?
like, I just got this young hottie, and I'm like,
Just
bro,
like-
I'd rather play a video game than deal with that chick. What are you doing?
I
Yeah.
like a girl to be a little older too, because they realize more of their flaws. They realize that they're single for a reason. You know what I
Jimmy
mean?
just said, I like a girl that knows she's fucked up.
Yeah, but you know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like a girl
No, I
that's
get
like a hot girl that's like 25. Like she's all fucked up and she has problems, just like everyone else. But she's not addressing them and doesn't realize that that's why
She's like a bitch about it.
she's a bitch about
Like,
it. Yeah.
honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll put it on you. Be like, no, you're just an asshole. And it's like,
Yeah,
no, you're a fucking
they'll
dumbass who
put-
hasn't
they'll-
faced it yet.
They'll put their shit on you, and then it's constantly affecting you. And then when you get upset or it affects you, now all of a sudden your reaction to their fucking bullshit is now the problem for them, and they're just poking you enough to get it out, and then it really makes me sick.
Okay, so you're telling me I did the right thing to not date the 25-year-old.
100%.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
guys.
for
I
sure.
appreciate you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have hooked up with her.
Or
yeah.
it's yeah.
My boy said, you could have still
Yeah,
smashed,
you don't have
my
to
boy.
marry. You could have,
Yeah,
yeah.
You could have smashed.
I mean, she's
Someone's
gonna
giving you
fuck
all you,
another.
slam
She's
that
gonna
shit
fuck
down,
someone
bro.
else. Yeah.
Sometimes you get a joy, I would assume. I'm saying this as if it's being thrown at me. It's not.
Yeah.
You've
Yes.
had girls thrown themselves at you.
Yeah, but they're off limits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have
that
penises.
sucks, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that sucks. I get it.
Justin's getting them all.
Yeah. That's back here just laughing at us being dirtbags real quick. Okay.
I've been there.
Yeah. I don't
So
think
like, I
there's
don't miss it.
there's not a man
time to
that
time.
hadn't been there, dude. I
Yeah.
don't care. We all are going to go through, but the 25 just like all my boys, when I told them, they were all like, yeah. And I'm just sitting there like, like she tweets, this sucks.
I just
Wha-
think some girl, like, there'll be women in their 30s that act like they're, 20, and then there's women in their mid 20s that act like that are more mature.
I just want to meet somebody in her 40s
They
that's
just haven't
like
had shit
settled
happen
and
to 'em.
successful.
Yeah, you can
need-
tell the people that haven't had shit happen to them or an easier
Oh, yeah.
life, or it's like,
Yeah. If life's too easy, I can't. I don't think we're gonna get along.
or if everyone's
Really?
the victim.
Yeah. If someone's just blissfully ignorant and as they're older, you're a
Yeah.
kid. You're a fucking kid. Please hold on
Yeah.
to that ignorance and be innocent. But it's like if you're around like late 20s, early 30s, you haven't had to really struggle. It's like, dude, fuck
By
off.
the time you're 27,
Yeah.
something bad better have happened to you
Yes.
that you had to. You better been like, oh my God, I don't know how we're going to get this rent paid. There better be something that's happened to you where you had a taste of real life kicking you in the balls.
Yeah, 100%. If there's a girl in her mid 20s and both her parents are healthy, and I don't want to date them.
That may be the funniest shit you've ever said to me with a straight face. And I was like, I don't want to date them at all.
Yeah.
Both your parents are alive and you're doing well. You're well balanced?
Yeah, no good.
Get out of here.
I need some trauma that you've gone through.
That's what dating you is for.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always tell women, hey, if you're ready to go black and then go back, holla. You're going back. You're not staying here. Okay. If you're ready, just holla at me. And if you're watching this show today and you're thinking you're ready to go black, Roderick has some packages available for you. Just email us.
Can I get your opinion on something?
Sure.
I got Jake's and Justin's.
All right.
So I had a date last night
Okay.
at Fraser's.
Okay.
And so I've been talking to this girl. I was talking to this girl for a little bit, just texting and stuff. But her pictures are great. I mean, like, in great shape, big tits.
All the
nice
social media
hair,
stuff looks good.
all this stuff looks great, and it's fine. But I didn't even like her mainly because of that. We had like these great conversations, and then so I get there and I'm talking to a friend. I run into a friend, and it's like, "What does this girl look like?" And I'm like, "Oh, she's so hot. She's like redhead, just very attractive." And then so I'm facing away, and then the girl walks in, and my friend goes, "I think that's her." And I turn around, I go, "No, that's not her." And he's like, "She's looking around. She's like looking for someone." And then I look again, and I vaguely notice the face, but she is like about 300 to 400 pounds heavier than the picture. Not that much, but like completely doesn't look like her. And then I panicked and I didn't know what to do, so I ran out of Fraser's, ran to my car and drove away. And then I felt terrible about it. And I messaged her and I said, "I'm sorry, I left. Something came up." Here, wait. So, did I fuck up? I feel like I.
Okay.
What do you think?
I'm not going to say you fucked up. I'm going to say you could have probably handled it better, but you handled it. Okay. You did handle the situation.
Yeah.
But you got catfished.
I got catfish.
Yeah, you got catfish. Let's call the fish what it is. You got catfish.
I got cat whaled.
Yeah, because if they're telling me, like, "Hi, I'm an Instagram model," and then you show up and I go, "Damn, you're a Jenny Craig model." That's two different women that showed up. Okay.
Yeah, Model T.
I'm not trying to shade. Look, I know some big women that can put it on you. Okay, y'all, ladies, y'all know who you are. You know what Roderick's done for you. You know what you done for him. I've been with some bigger women, but I met this girl one time and we went out and I was feeling her. She was a great conversationalist. We always had a blast. She was one of my favorite people to be around. And then I tried to hit, and I found out I don't have enough penis for this bigger woman. Okay,
Wow.
You can't look, bro. If I'm only at the front door, and I can't get in the house. I don't have enough for all
It's dangerous sometimes dating a woman that's overweight. It can be dangerous. Like I remember one of my exes. I tried to take one of her chicken wings. She almost took my finger off.
Yeah,
Just
bro.
bit it.
You gotta know what you got. Look. I ain't got enough for some big girls. I like big girls. Big girls are great friends, man, and they sometimes can put it on you real good. But I also know my own limitations, and I can't be big and you big. Now it looks like two weeble wobbles trying to fuck. That's just ridiculous. We just bouncing off of each other. I ain't doing that all night. No.
Well, I think big women are fine. It's just don't lie.
Don't lie.
Oh yeah, don't lie.
Fucking
Present
lie,
yourself
asshole.
as a big girl. So I know you're a big girl, so I know what we getting into. Because I'm gonna look at you and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, I don't want to waste your time. I ain't got the penis you need. I want to introduce you to my boy Jake." He got more penis than
He got
me.
that big dick.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll find out. I just don't know. Maybe you're thinking like my small 8-inch cock doesn't fit into
Bro,
these giant women.
If I had 8 inches, I would not be sitting here depressed. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. If someone catfishes you, I feel like you reserve the right to be like, yo, fuck this person, I'm out.
If you get catfish, you have
shouldn't
every
feel
right
anything
to roll
about
out.
that. And if she tries to make you feel bad, just be like, update your fucking pictures, idiot. Like,
Her
don't lie
pictures
to
are from
people.
like the 90s. It was like,
Yeah, and that, look,
It's not even that I hadn't seen this girl, but it's like she could be beautiful as a big girl.
no.
Okay.
Okay, my boy said nope.
Trying to redeem him.
He shut it down. He shut that shit down. Nope, she is not.
No, she was actively panting in the evening. Well, she had to walk from her car. So. I'm looking for Jimmy.
Jimmy in a 3-piece. Yeah,
It was.
yeah. No, you can't be catfishing people.
It was like Jurassic Pork.
And the water was shaking.
You said
Yeah.
Jurassic Pork. Oh my god. Yeah, you can't catfish a person because if you catfish somebody, whatever happens to you happens to you. You
I
can't-
felt, but having said that, I felt like
you felt shallow.
I felt terrible.
Yeah.
And then Jake helped me a little bit, but I still felt.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you gave a reaction based on the information. I'm not saying it was a bad reaction. It's definitely funny as shit, but it's definitely a reaction to what you were presented with.
Yeah,
You
and
got
my
catfish.
friend he messaged me that he was because he saw me see her, and then he saw me like freak out. And then he turned away to his friend, and he said when he turned back around, he saw me running through the parking lot, just like fucking like Forrest Gump. And he said it was really funny.
That's the worst. If somebody turns around and says, "Is that Roderick over there running?" I don't want that part, but yeah. Dude, look, you got catfish. I'm not knocking that.
If she was attractive and wanted to sleep with you, would you have slept with her?
Of course.
Like on the spot? So what was your backup plan that night?
Oh boy, I'm sorry.
Damn.
And then you were talking about piece of shit earlier, and
he
then
hits
somebody
me up.
you respect,
Yeah.
and then that was the back. This is best friend
He's
shit.
just like, hey, you want to meet at Buzzmill? I'm like, of course, dude. Yeah. He's like, I always want to write with you, bud.
He's got to write about this trauma he went through. That's what he tried. I got to diary this. I need Jake there to be emotional support when I write this.
Can I tell you something even worse?
Yeah.
After I left, I texted another girl that I've been hanging out with, and then I texted you. So you were actually the third.
I was playing 3. Damn, dude.
Yeah.
You shot down one fat girl, got shut down by an attractive girl, and then hung out with your fat guy friend.
Uh-huh.
You know what?
And you got
I just
no
want you to know
pussy.
something. At least you got texted.
Hell yeah.
At least got
I
the
know,
text.
you go to bed at 7
I
p.m.
do, man. He knows me, man. I really have been trying to stay up in my house. Like after I told him, after I get in the house at a certain point and the pajama pants go on, I'm not coming out. I'm out. It's just I'm playing a video game and watching anime, being a piece of shit. I'm not coming out.
No.
It's hard to get out there, but yeah, I still love this story. I love this story. I'm not gonna say I haven't been in that situation, but I wish I would have reacted the way you did.
Yeah.
Because that's how it was me being the wingman for my buddy to get the hotter of the two girls.
Yeah, this
is
girl
how I
loved
found
wings.
out I don't have enough penis for big women. There's a certain weight limit you got to meet at where I can be like, we can do this.
Yeah, but you just roll the butt up.
No, sir.
It's the size of the vagina. It's not it's
Oh.
I mean, I've dated girls that are or had
No, I've
sex
been in some like fucking
you know what I
caverns,
mean? Like,
and you're like, there's no end to
There's
this.
no way. It doesn't. I could have a like a 5-inch cock around, and it wouldn't matter. This thing is gaping.
Yeah.
No, what mine was that she had
You
it
know?
looked
I can
proportionate.
usually
I
get
just
to
didn't
the
have
end.
enough penis to get into
Yeah.
it from the back with all the leg fat and thigh fat. I was just like, I'm fat, but ma'am, you look like you were floated in the Macy's Day Parade. I can't do nothing for. I don't have the penis for this. God did not equip me with what you need to satisfy. Would you? Here's how bad it was. At one point, I said, "Hey, girl, you want to go to IHOP?" I just asked her. I was like, "I think we'd have more fun eating pancakes than trying to fuck each other. I don't have the penis to do this. Let's go eat some pancakes and have a good time." And she went to IHOP with me, and I stayed friends with her. But I was like, "You know, we're never fucking again, right? You know that, right?" She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, cool. We're both in a, I don't got that dick for this job. Let's go eat some pancakes."
That's some adult shit. You can't find a guy in his 20s, probably even at my age, be like, "Yeah, my dick couldn't fit in you."
Oh, I was in my 20s when this happened.
You were that you were that
bro,
sound.
I
Good
was
for
sitting
you.
there with her, and I was just like,
"No way."
I'm doing all the work, and I'm just looking at this, going, "I'm never gonna get in there. I'm not." And here's the thing: I was probably a 189. I'm 3'11" right now. So I was a thin, kind of thinner than I am now, but I was always a stocky dude. But I was in the military working out. And I still was like, I don't have the penis for this. This is ridiculous. I'm not about to work this hard for her to be mad. I did. I said, "Hey, you want to go to IHOP?"
Yeah, because she's not going to get on top and be all flexible. She's too big.
She is
it
not
has to be
on top
from
of me.
behind. You can't have sex with a fat girl in any other position than doggy style.
Well,
you
look,
could try,
if you got
but
one of them big ones, you can, but I don't got that big one.
you have to lift the stomach up, and that's a bummer. And then you got to like.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my God. I know.
So, Jake, where can we find you online?
That's the end of the show, right? That ended
You can find me at at bbw.com is it's just JAKERICCA on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all that shit.
You can find me burning in hell.
Won't find him in a Weight Watchers meeting. I bet you that. You will not.
You can find us on Pain Management Pod on Instagram and Creek TV on Instagram. We always collab everything, so both those, and then Creek TV on YouTube. You can watch us there. We're on Spotify and Apple. Apple Podcast. And where can we find you?
You can find me at Coach Silky on Instagram, and there are links to everything, my specials, my Facebook. You can find it all there.
All right, great. Jake,
wait, what's yours?
Jimmy.Moynihan.
Jimmy.Moynihan.
Jake, thanks for coming on. You're great. One of my really good friends, great friends, and I'm lucky to have you, and thanks for taking time out to do this pod.
Yeah, seriously. Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Till next time.
Peace.
I have